2,000 players, $32,000, one winner. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Deadman Spring 2018. Woo!
So Deadman originally was just the top 2,000 players forced to fight, and eventually there'd be one player left standing and he would be the winner. That's not really very fair, given that a player could die at any given moment and they'd be immediately eliminated, but it was fun to watch.
The new Deadman format has consistently evolved over the years that we've been running it. And it's been our goal to try and make a fair tournament for everyone, whether that's solo players or clans.
The most exciting thing for me is going to be the 1v1 towards the end. It's the first time we've taken the last 128 players and pitted them in 1v1 battles. Seeing how that's going to happen and who the final winner is going to be is going to be the best part by a long way.
Starting off on the left-hand side, we have Manged Up Mage. We have MMORPG, the man with the juice.
This season of Deadman, I have put in a lot of hours into the tournaments in order to get good stats and good gear. I have a fighting chance, I think, to get to the final area, and I really hope to do some good content on the 1v1s.
They've come in today with very, very high hopes of going really far, and we'll talk about some clans a bit later. Looking in Falador right now.
Robert, one of the true OGs when it comes to Deadman, playing since the very first season, providing some of the best Deadman streams of all time.
I've played every single Dead mode from the start, every tournament I've been in, every season, and the original, of course, just love the game mode. If you're dying before me, I'm progressing further. I might not have to use all my food getting into the final 128.
Last but not least, we have Sick Nerd.
If these clans all fight each other at the same time, it's going to be an absolute cluster as well. You see a lot of deaths being happened. Let's go back to Anakal now as well and see if they've taken the defense. Oh, wow. Whoa. Look at the size of them compared to everyone else. That's actually ridiculous.
Like we saw Robert doing it fairly successfully. He's still up on stage.
He's still alive. So is Manx.
He's still alive.
We have a splice drop actually dropping in 5 seconds now.
There it is. That animation is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
So it started out as a community idea, and we actually had the entire team in a meeting for several hours. The supply crates came up, and we all thought, like, you know what, this is actually amazing. Like, this has so much potential. This could be absolutely incredible.
He's got to make it past the Hammers first. Can he get it? Go on. Oh my God, he's done it!
This tournament should be better than any tournament we've had before. The fact that it's now a 1v1 when you get down to 128 gives everyone like a massive chance. All you need to do is survive that long.
Once you secure your place in the final 128, it comes down to your solo PvP skills to be able to make your way through a knockout tournament and reach the final.
Anybody can log in, anybody can try, and anybody can win.
The thing that makes Deadman work, I think, is that it's an iterative process. Every time it changes, every time they experiment and they try new things, and always in a dialogue with the people who are actually playing. And that, I think, is its greatest strength. Because people talk about trying to keep games fresh for their audience, and the thing is that, like, they're always building this game.
In 2018, we just want to make Deadman bigger and better. We listen to the players, get their feedback, and then keep iterating it to make it the game the players want.
Predictions, guys. Do you reckon Manged Up Mage is going to go all the way?
I've got to breathe. Just because he's on stage, he's done so well to get as far as he has.
I think trying to categorise Deadman as an e-sport is an interesting question because it doesn't fit the standard genre. You know, it's long play style over short-based games.
Deadman is something completely unique on its own, unmatched in the world. It's incredible, and it has so much more potential. I believe we're only at the very beginning of it.
Any mistakes? Catch the freezes.
It's a 29 barrage with this
Oh, wow. He's doing amazingly well. Can he win it?
With an even more beautiful audience. Thank you so much for attending, guys. We really appreciate it. Come on, give yourself a round of applause. You can hear. Come on. There you go. We have such an exciting evening ahead of us.
We have players on stage to introduce, changes to talk about this past week to talk about. Before we get anywhere, introductions are necessary. So I'll be your host, Mod Archie. Joined with me is Mod Aiza.
Hey.
We've got Skidler and
Good to see
Ian.
everybody.
They'll be your casting talent for the evening, so use their voices. And I'll be jumping back on the sofas when we get to the 1v1 section. So guys, real quick, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
I think for me personally, sorry to just jump the gun there.
That's all right.
It's going to have to be the spectator changes that we've had. Huge shout out to everyone in the team that has been working on that, but a special thank you to Mod Atlas and Mod Ed for developing our in-house system. We've got a brand new spectator system. I've said system way too many times now, but we're going to be looking at, when we get to the 1v1s, that's when it's really going to show. Yes, we've got the heat map, but an incredible UI overhaul that's really going to improve the viewer experience for the players, for the people back at home.
Something that I've personally always wanted to see in the Deadman mode tournaments, especially now we have the addition of the 1v1s rather than just the big cluster at the end, is the ability to view each player's inventory. So when we're watching these 1v1s, we don't just have to watch what their character's doing, we can actually see where they're clicking, what their thought process is, how they're trying to outplay their opponents, and I think that's just going to be so much better as a viewer.
Yeah, and for me personally, it's about the narrative, the story that gets told throughout. The whole week, clans have been preparing for this moment. Solo players have been as well. An 8-day tournament, unlike the previous ones. And I just look forward to seeing how it all unveils and what happens.
So, very fortunately, we reached out to Torvesta, and he was able to make a great video introducing what Deadman was. If you missed that, a very, very quick recap. Essentially, we invite anybody and everybody to hop into the Deadman worlds, play your best. We then invite the top 2,000 players to compete in this tournament with a $32,000 prize pool, 20,000 of that going to the winner. And they can compete over a series of days. This time around, it was 8 days, plenty of time to prepare, gather their supplies, their gear, their weapons, strategize amongst each other, all of that. And it all comes down to this moment. We have just a couple of hours pushing them into areas where they have to fight to survive, eventually moving into 1v1s, structured into, obviously, a finale of a 1v1 where we'll have a winner crowned. So a very exciting evening ahead of us indeed. Right, so what else has changed this time around?
We've made quite a lot of changes. Quite a lot of smaller changes, actually, because I think when we look back at the previous tournament, it was agreeable with everyone in the team that actually it was probably one of the best, if not the best, that we've done by far. So we didn't want to do too many drastic changes. Most notably, I think, when we get to the 1v1 stage of the final 1-2-8, we're gonna take a short break where we give players 5 minutes to access bank chests. In that time, they're going to be able to reconfigure their gear, their supplies, change their spell books. At the same time, in the back end, our team, the anti-cheating team, are going to be making sure that anyone that has made it to the final 1-2-8 have got there legit, and that the final players are actually going to be there for a good game.
I'm looking forward to seeing how many players actually engage with the spellbook swap, or the ability to change their spellbook at the bank during that 5 minutes. Do you think we're going to see a lot of people maybe in the massing area with Ancients and then swapping out for more food, fewer switches, and then maybe going on to Lunas for Vengeance?
It's a good question. If you're a really skilled Tribrid and you know how to DD, Death Dot, of course, you stand a really, really good chance.
Yeah,
if you're not so confident in your PKing abilities, I would personally go with a Ranger for Vengeance, of course, the Suffering playing a big part, and we can get into strategies a little bit more. But in just a minute here, we're going to head over and interview our players on stage. So before we hop to that, let's talk about their week coming up. You know what? We'll start with, actually, you know what? We should probably let the highlights reel do it for us. I could probably explain better. So yeah, let's throw it to VT.
Oh boy! Yes! That is what I'm looking for. Feels good, man. Yes, feels fucking great, in fact. Give me that beautiful thing. And straight to the deposit box we go. What's in the fucking box? House.
Oh my god. Good fight, dude. I'm sorry. I killed Curtis, man. I'm such a dick.
Okay, guys, we're here joined with our players on stage. That was a brief highlight of this past week for them, doing a better explanation than I could with words, I think. Now, on my left rather here, we have Wakaim PB. Some of you may not know who he is. This is a Finnish legend in our game, creating some of the most entertaining PKing videos dated all the way back to like 10 years ago. We found out he's actually playing Deadman and representing his clan, Fools. Wak, how are you feeling going into this tournament?
Oh man, it's been so much fun. Like, I don't even know. Thank you for the invite.
Do you have any words you'd like to say to your Finnish viewers rooting for you?
Seppo vois vähän rauhoittua se viinankaan ja torilla tavataan.
Right. Thank you very much, and best of luck to you, PB. Thank you. Moving on to my left here, we have Skillspecs. Skillspecs, you are a fan favorite, aren't you? You've had an incredible week this week. This Deadman, I've seen more effort from you than I think I've seen in any other previous season. How is the motivation coming along this tournament?
I've definitely enjoyed it. A lot of motivation, a lot of grinding, just to die.
He brought his entire desktop setup to the hotel and was playing all night last night. He's got a really impressive setup. The full carols, Darox, Rune Pouch. Are you playing with a team this time?
Sorry, what was that, Chris?
Are you playing with a team this time?
I am. This time I'm rolling with Lit. So hopefully it goes well. Hopefully I can get into the 1v1s, because as long as I get into the 1v1s, hopefully we can bring win. Maybe not.
Feeling very confident, Skillspecs is. Okay. Curtis, I think coincidentally, are you in the same team as Skillspecs?
I am, but we've just got split into different areas, so hopefully me and Jay survive and get to have a nice 1v1 fight. That'll be sweet.
Now, what have you done in preparation from this tournament after your unfortunate defeat last tournament?
So last tournament, the mistake I made was rolling solo. I was rolling with Sicknerd and Rakesy. Both of them got taken down, and it was just me to run into the final area. And I got taken down instantly as I tried to run into it. So this time I'm within a squad to hopefully stay alive more than last time.
And are you looking forward to playing the next season? Have you begun to strategize yet?
The next season looks really, really good. I've been playing a lot of my tournaments without swapping, so I think I'm going to have an advantage on that just because I know the methods of how to make money. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I advise a lot of people to try it out. It's going to be really good.
Thank you, Curtis. And last but not least, we have the Deadman winner himself, Manked Up Mage. What have you done with the 20 grand you won last tournament? Did you get a new PC?
That's pretty much it. Just got a new PC, and yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
What's it been like since winning that? Are you feared in game? Do people walk up to you and go, I don't want to fight that guy, he's the Deadman winner?
People seem to be telling a lot faster. I don't know if that's because they've become better or what, but it could be that, yeah.
And how's it been this time? I've seen some fearlessness out of you, killing these poor level 30s. You killed Curtis. He sat next to you on the Deadman stage, and you killed him in the tournament.
I mean, if I see someone and they've got some nice loot, I'll go for them, you know. It's no preference in game, you know. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And going into next season similarly, are you able to share any strategies, anything like that?
I think a lot of ults will be helpful. It'll be a very different season, but it should be a lot of fun. And a lot more PKs, I think, so it should be good.
We're really looking forward to the next season. We'll get to those changes in a minute. But for the time being, guys, I think we've actually kept you waiting long enough. It's about time we go live into the Deadman Spring 2018 finale.
an incredible audience we have this evening.
As always, welcome to Deadman Spring 2018. One thing that we didn't actually get to do in the build-up talking about Deadman mode this time was predictions. So why don't we do that now? What do you think, Aiza?
Okay, I'm going to say that on the stage, I believe that Wook is going to take the win.
Yeah?
Yeah, confident.
Going all the way?
I think from what I've heard, the information that we've been given, and from what we've had backstage from Mod Sween, who's been doing a little bit of digging for us here and there.
Yeah.
Fools seem like they're a really solid unit. They've been doing a lot this tournament, and I think that's going to help them.
What yourself, Elliot?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when we're talking predictions, like you can break that down. Obviously, you've got teams, so you can have team predictions, and then you can have individuals within those teams as predictions as well. Obviously, Buck, Gillenor's strongest jawline, as we saw on stage on the left-hand side. What a beautiful man he is. Part of Fools, probably one of the most prolific clans. We see them every time in Deadman, doing extremely well.
Yeah, just to expand on that, so Fools, basically, for those that don't know, are an exclusively Finnish clan. They have over 100 members, and they have been dominating multi for 10 plus years now. Their leader, Iomeri, has led them into victory countless times as other huge clans such as Rot. And this time, they are going for the win.
Yeah.
So the whole week they've been preparing by locking down certain pieces of content, taking out Monkey Madness Island, for example, so they could chin there, they could get their range levels up, and they can obviously, as well as that, unlock Monkey Madness too. As a whole, I think Fools, you're right, have a really good chance of getting into that 1v1 stage. Buck himself, we haven't seen him in a 1v1 situation for quite a while, as he hasn't made videos in a long time. But I believe the Finnish man himself can, go pretty far, as long as Fools can get him into that 1v1 round.
Absolutely. I think the way and the route that a lot of clans are taking this time around is they're feeding, X amount of people. They'll take their strongest individual PKers, they'll try and feed them the best gear, the best supplies, and make sure that they are the people that get into the 1v1s. I was speaking to Iomeri, and he said a win for Fools, a win for anyone from Fools is a win for Fools regardless.
Yeah.
And one thing that I was very, very pleased with seeing, I thought it was lovely. He said if Fools win, they're going to use the $20,000 prize money to book a huge Airbnb and have a massive clan meetup where they can all chill and have a holiday together. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I asked them for their 1v1 members, the people they thought would go the furthest in the 1v1 round, and he was like, nope, don't want to give any names away because, like you said, a win for Fools is just a win all round. Doesn't matter who's won it. Let's talk about the other clans as well. Of course, we have the infamous Rot, Reign of Terror, a clan in the previous tournaments has actually taken home the win countless times and is a pretty scary clan, a menacing clan to be going up against. This time round, we haven't heard much about Rot. They've tried to keep it under...
They've been laying low, but, we've got a little bit of info as well on there. And
like you said before.
But, Rot seem like they're quite a formidable force here. They've also been looking at doing Monkey Madness and locking down the Demonic Gorillas, which is obviously going to bring in the Zenite Jewelry, used to create very strong items such as the Ring of Suffering. So if we see that up into the 1v1s, well, we saw what happened last tournament. Just to quickly move away from there, very briefly, but we're looking on screen at the moment, the next time until a chest will drop. Obviously, we made a quick change, a slight change this tournament where we pre-announced where all of the supply chests were going to drop, so the people knew where they were going to go to, rather than it being just a case of figuring out if you're in the right area or not at the right time. They don't know which chest is going to come first, but they know exactly where they're going to be placed. So I would expect clans, if they're really looking to get these items, to be having particular members waiting there. Maybe not. Maybe they don't want to risk it. If you know where the chest is, everyone else also knows where it is.
Of course, if you get in a fight early on when you're not prepared for it, you're not in a good situation, you run the risk of going out early and not making it into the 1v1 final area. Of course, clans in this game, like I said before, are huge. Of the 2,000 people that qualified, some clans and alliances make up hundreds of members. So we have also Cold, we spoke about earlier. Maybe that's like CD, Tartar, Execution, and a few more as well.
There are huge, huge mergers this time
that are coming together.
Huge
and,
mergers.
Yeah, the chest drop definitely. But you only get one item from the chest drop, don't you, Aiza?
Well, in terms of the supply chests, so I'll quickly just read out what they contain. One of the chests will have Carol's and Arim's top. Another will have Carol's and Arim's skirt. There'll be a Sears and Archer ring imbued in one of the chests. There'll be an Amulet of Fury and an Infernal Cape. In one of them, there'll just be a solo DFS, a single DFS, but it'll be fully charged. So Dragonfly Shield, very, very strong.
Best in slot.
Gear, and also very, very strong for melee as well, because it's the high strength bonus they'll be able to
And
achieve.
obviously, if you kill someone in Deadman mode in the tournament, and they have a DFS or any Barrows piece, instead of it uncharging it or breaking it upon death, they will
would just
stay
be like a
completely
normal
intact.
item.
You can pick it up, you can wield it.
And the final chest then being the Verak skirt and whip, so very formidable items. So you really, you know, they're nothing to ignore. Remember last time we saw a poor level 50-odd guy run up and grab one of these chests and got slaughtered
straight away. Well, I mean, you become a target, don't you, at the same time, if you get these items, because in the 1 versus 1 rounds, having like an Inferno Cape or a Fury that previously you might not be able to get, it just makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about the heat map that we introduced last time round and has been perfected by the old school team since?
Yeah, so obviously this is completely interactive here. We're able to move around the map, move around Gielinor. Each of these heat icons here show how many people are in one place, basically. So you can see, if you've seen, obviously, where the chests and the crates are falling, compare that to where every dot that you see here is, and you'll notice that basically people are just scattered around, waiting for these chests to drop.
Definitely.
So you'll see people moving in from different regions, coming in, getting the chest, and then towards the end, when it becomes like, you know, the huge cluster of multi-combat, they're just completely merged together.
No, definitely. Another notable thing to say as well is we can see a lot of blue dots in the wilderness. I think earlier, Aizy, you picked up on that. Scouts around, waiting for other clans, trying to you know, find out what they're doing, what their tactics are. Because this is a game of strategy, and put yourself in the best position to then have the advantage of whether you're attacking first or not getting caught between two different clans is pretty much essential for survival.
Looks like we're about to see a poor chap over here in his Zamrak robes about to fall to 2 people.
Already in the final area with his fire bolt.
He's, yeah.
I feel for that guy. He's definitely not going to be making out of that one alive.
I definitely don't think so. And here we can see, obviously, the new spectator mode. It's almost like that. It's almost like old school fighting game. You get to see the huge health bar, like a Tekken style thing, and you can see obviously the inventory on the left-hand side where people are eating, consuming brews, etc., etc. I think it adds such a great dynamic to the viewing experience.
Absolutely. We're going to see some amazing getaways.